Hey guys, it's Deborah. I just wanted to touch base with you guys because I had a couple minutes where I could just quickly record this, where I could be alone and record this. So I just wanted to talk to you about the elections because my last two videos were about that. And if you didn't see them, please check them out. It's all about the Enoch prophecy, talking about the last prime minister, basically the last shepherd of Israel, the 70th shepherd, which calculated would be Netanyahu. And I also did a video before that, just talking about all the different prophecies, the Kaduri prophecy, the Kisma prophecy, the Shoshani prophecy, which all talk about the government and what's going to happen. And if you don't know about that, just check out my last two videos. Most of you know already. So basically, we're looking at all these possible prophetic events coming all together. And honestly, I just got a burst of excitement today. Like, there's been a more, like, I guess, a heaviness. I think a lot of people were feeling a lot of like impatience or heaviness, or there's just been a lot of that. But then you'll get these bursts of excitement sometimes where you're like, this is actually happening. Like, this is happening. And yeah, so okay, so Netanyahu has won. I don't know if you guys are following it, but it's quite confusing. I said before, it's kind of similar to where I am in Canada, where you need like the majority government. I think somebody told me a little bit more about what it's like in the States. Every country is different, obviously, but that there's something similar to get certain seats or whatever. But basically, where I am, yeah, you need a majority government to have, like, I guess, the majority amount of power. So for him, okay, so for the prophecy that we were looking at, one of the prophecies, and I'm just going to paraphrase because I don't have time to like find all the slides or whatever, but it's saying that there will come a time when two Benjamins will run for government, but before either one of them can establish their kingship, Messiah will come. So basically, that word kingship is very important. So this is what we're looking at. We're like, well, what does it mean that neither of them, like, it says neither of them will establish their kingship. I'm probably saying it wrong, but basically neither man, Benjamin Netanyahu or Benny Gantz, those are the two that were prophesied, two Benjamins, neither will establish their kingship. They can't. And now at first you're thinking, well, if Netanyahu wins, then he's established his kingship. No, I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe that the kingship is when somebody gets a majority government. And the reason, like, I was thinking that before, and then it got validated by me understanding the kingmaker. And I'll explain that to you in a second. But yeah, so what we're looking at is that neither Benjamin establishes his kingship. If anyone does, then that prophecy fails, because it said, before either man can establish his kingship, Messiah will come, which also coincides with the prophecy that says the gate will fall. This is the Kisma prophecy. The gate will fall once, twice, third time. Before it's built a fourth time, Messiah will come, which is the gate, if we're interpreting correctly, is the government, the Knesset. So basically, the Knesset keeps dissolving for whatever reason. I don't understand the full details of it, but it keeps dissolving. It's not being made. That's why it keeps falling. And it's with relation to the prime minister establishing his kingship, getting certain seats and all this kind of stuff. There's politics to the politics that I don't even close to know, but it's just, I got a burst of excitement today because honestly, it just lines, like, the Enoch prophecies are standing, like, and the other prophecy I told you about where the rabbi said Netanyahu is going to hand the keys to Messiah, and my own stuff that I have talked about before in the beginning when I talked about, you remember the Pope, Netanyahu, and Trump all being the end of a certain order and all this kind of stuff. Like, anyway, this whole thing, nothing's out of play. Now let me explain a little bit about the details. Okay, here in this New York Times article, it says, in Israel elections, Netanyahu's party leads, but path to majority uncertain. The prime minister's party held the lead, exit polls projected Wednesday morning, but neither his right-wing alliance nor a diverse bloc of opposition parties had a clear path to a majority coalition. So like you see here, we're not sure. Somebody, and that was such a good message. Somebody in my last video in the comment section, and I could have sworn I took a picture of it, but I don't know if I did. But in the comment section, they said they gave me a timeline of how long it takes for the Knesset to be rebuilt. And I think it went all the way into April or May. So basically, it takes time to see if this government's going to get set up. But remember, with the Kismet prophecy, the Knesset cannot be rebuilt a fourth time. So literally, this is everything is lining up with the fig tree generation, like everything. I don't know if we're exactly right with the May 14th and that's how it has to be the cutoff and everything. I mean, it makes the most sense. But I'm going to touch base on my next video about getting discouraged or whatever you might be thinking, or just some other thing. Well, I'm going to touch base on a lot of things, but regardless, just keep hanging in there. All I'm saying is everything is converging now. There are all these prophecies, like all Enoch, the Malachi, the Kisma, Shoshani, Kedur, like all these things, they're about to be blown out of the water. Like, okay, no, none of them are true, or they're all true. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you about this guy, Naphtali Bennett. So it says Naphtali Bennett is the kingmaker. Can he be king? Analysis. Again, I do not know how to explain and describe all of their political stuff, but the one thing that I just want to tell, I mean, many of you know way more than me. I'm just making videos. I make videos on this topic. And isn't it crazy that my first video I ever made on this channel is about the two Benjamins? Like, full circle, man. But anyway, so this guy Naphtali Bennett, he was part of the defense team or whatever. I forget what it's called, but the Israel defense team. He was something there. Anyway, he's now the leader of one of the parties. All I know is they're looking at him as kingmaker. Okay, look at that prophecy. It said, and when neither Benjamin will establish their kingship, then Messiah will come. So neither Benjamin. So Benny Gantz is out. We already know. He's not going to be any part with any coalition government at all with Netanyahu because it didn't work. It didn't work. So anyway, Gantz is out. So we got one Benjamin out. Now the second Benjamin, he's in, but he hasn't established his kingship. This guy could be the kingmaker. So somehow, and I forget how it works, he basically supports and is in it with Netanyahu to become the kingmaker. But it's on the fence. Will it happen? We don't know. But that's where we know if he doesn't establish his kingship with that kingmaker. Okay, so let me just read this for a second. Netanyahu called Yamina leader Naphtali Bennett. This is after this election. He called him after he won, who told him he was waiting for the final results and he would act for the good of all the citizens of Israel. Netanyahu also called the other leaders in his political camp and asked them to join a strong right-wing government. So again, I'm just not even going to try to explain all that because I definitely don't know, but I just wanted to report on this for you guys and kind of like update you. People are probably thinking, okay, where are we at now? RevelationChapter12.com channel just did a kind of update, so check out his channel. He'll be able to explain some of it, but basically we cannot have a 24th Knesset, another government. So there's two things we're looking at. We're looking at another government not being formed, another Knesset. Okay, so like that can't happen, but that has time up until it's like April or May or something. So that has time. So that can't happen. And another thing is Netanyahu has to win. I'm only saying this if these prophecies don't fail. So if the prophecies don't fail, he has to win because of Enoch and because of that rabbi said, you're going to hand the keys to Messiah. And because like inside, don't we all feel like he has to? Like, don't you just feel that anyway? That's what I've been feeling from a while. And I don't know anything about any of these people. And I'm just like, no, this guy has to stay. Okay, he's supposed to be the 70th shepherd. So anyway, the last 12 are after 1948. And it fits. That's a crazy thing. Enoch actually said, he divided. He said there will be a last 12. And if you look from 1948, there have been 12 leaders. Like, this is Enoch. Even if the book of Enoch is wrong and false and everything, which I believe the first one is okay, and then the rest might be completely wrong, like not good. I just think the first Enoch is okay. But anyway, the point is, he said, whoever wrote this said way back when, thousands of years ago, that there'll be last 12 shepherds of Israel. How did he know Israel would go out and then it would come back in 1948 and there'd be only 12 presidents and we're at the 12th? So anyway, it lines up with 6,000 a year, it lines up with the fig tree generation, it lines up with everything. Sorry, I can't even, oh my gosh, I'm excited. Okay, I have to calm down. So yes, what was I saying? What we're looking out for is the Knesset not being rebuilt. But before that, we're looking to see if he gets a majority government. Because if he gets a majority government, then I feel that that prophecy that says when two Benjamins, run or lead, then basically neither of them will establish their kingship. And he has not established his kingship all the time. He keeps falling short to have the majority government, and then therefore the Knesset then falls through. So I don't know exactly why it falls through, but it always falls through, something to do with that. So it's about seats and how it all works. So that being said, we're going to see soon, I guess, if this Naphtali Bennett can be his kingmaker and make him king. If he makes him king, I personally think that I would have to let that prophecy go, where he has established his kingship. Like, even those words, you know, he doesn't say he'll have to be prime minister. No, he says king. So anyway, that's the next thing that we're looking at. And then the next thing after that, like, say he doesn't establish his kingship, and it's a minority government, not majority, then either, we're out of here anytime after that, whatever, or all the prophecies still stand. No one established their kingship. It all still stands, but we're now waiting for the Knesset to be rebuilt. It can't be rebuilt again. So I hope that wasn't too confusing for you guys, but basically we just take it step by step. The first step we're waiting on to see if he gets majority government. Is he a king? Then that prophecy goes where it says neither will establish their kingship. Will Naphtali Bennett make him be a kingmaker and make him king? That we don't want to see that, because then that prophecy goes. We don't want to see him become king. Okay, and then if he doesn't, we then have more waiting to do, because we have to see, is the Knesset rebuilt a fourth time? We don't want it to be rebuilt. We kind of want these prophecies to stand and be true because they all fit with everything else. But if they're not, it doesn't matter, because all the other stuff is happening. If you are feeling a little like discouraged or whatever, I'm going to link a video in the comment section that I kind of just found this channel, but basically it's pretty encouraging. It's like an hour long, but it talks about all the signs that we're looking at, just to see that, just about the signs of the times. I think this guy posted it like a week ago or something. It's encouraging, because I haven't watched all of it, but it's just something to remind you why. But I got a boost of excitement today, because I was like, is this really happening? It is all lining up. It's all okay. And I just can't even believe it. I mean, of course I can believe it, because I knew he would win. Stay tuned. Don't give up. It's the end. And just keep looking up. Okay, sorry I went on there, but I will talk to you guys again soon. Until next time, God bless and shalom.